Good morning, everyone, and welcome back into North Dakota today. Well, the holidays are a time when friends and family of all ages gather together, share updates on their lives, and recount cherished memories. One thing to add to the list this year, a conversation on how to stay safe from fraud. Here to share some more tips on how to best approach this topic is Scott Nelson.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. So AARP has shared fraud tips with us in the past, everything from romance to holiday shopping scams. What should we make sure that our loved ones know?
Well, the scammers target people of all ages, and this is relevant to everyone, teens to grandparents. It doesn't really matter. If you're online, you can be subject to scams. 40% of all the scams reported to the Federal Trade Commission last year were from people under the age of 40. And victims over the age of 60 lose the most money to scams, maybe because people who are older are a little more trusting. But we're all vulnerable to these criminals, so you have to take care. Here's a little help and guidance. We're recommending that you talk to your family and friends this holiday season about fraud, about the scammers that might be out there. There's a lot of talk about our artificial intelligence. There's so much going on in the world of the digital realm that we're all getting used to. You've heard about maybe scams where the grandchildren are calling in. Someone claiming to be a grandchild calls a grandparent saying, I need help, begging them not to tell their mom and dad, that they're in trouble. Well, my late father-in-law received a scam call involving my son. And he knew it wasn't my son because he's familiar with his voice, and he knew he wouldn't have been in Jamaica at that time of year. So there are certain things. Know what your family is doing, know where they are, and just staying in touch. And if you can identify what's going on, and you're familiar with these different storylines that are going on around us, the scams that target parents and grandparents are only becoming more believable with the adoption of artificial intelligence and other technologies because it's making things seem more real. Be very careful when you're receiving any phone calls that might seem a little weird.
Mm-hmm. Are there any new scams that people should know about?
Oh, scams are popping up every day. There's really not, it's really hard to stay on top of everything. So we have a lot of resources at AARP's Fraud Watch Network. We can talk about that later. But one thing that is very important to talk about is the subject of passwords for your accounts. Too many people get in the habit of just using one password for everything. Don't do that, please. It makes it easier for scammers to find a password, get access to an account, and keep looking. Change your passwords for your accounts, your online accounts, your shopping, banking. Change them regularly. This is one way that we can help to thwart some of the artificial intelligence that is being used out there, because they can use artificial intelligence, AI, to help search, to help, to get a lot of routines automated for password searching. So try to stay on top of that. Use secure passwords when you can. Sometimes when you're putting in a password, a suggested one pops up that doesn't look like anything. It's just a bunch of gibberish. Maybe you should start using those and keep track of them. The longer those passwords are, the better. The more complex they are, the better. They're harder to remember, but I just use a simple device. When I record account numbers and passwords, I just use a little address book. It's just a little black address book, and I write down the accounts, the passwords, everything, so that I can remember them, recall them, and when I change them, I use pencil in the book, by the way. I erase them and I write in the new password. So little tips like that to help you stay in touch with your digital accounts. Avoid names of pets. Simple things that other people might know, learn about you from your social media presence, which is another thing. You know, you can be willing to share with your family and friends this holiday season, but don't share certain information that others who are overseeing this might be able to use against you.
Certainly, those are some great tips. Anything else that people should cover during the holiday season?
Oh, just stay vigilant. When it comes to shopping online, go to stores that you're used to doing business with, ones that you have a relationship with. Use your credit card when you are doing shopping online, because that gives you one extra avenue of defense against unexpected or unexplained charges. I have had some of those, and my credit card companies have worked with me to back out the charges, to investigate, and to even go after the perpetrators of fraud. You can get information about more tips from AARP by going on to aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork, all one word, and they can get you some information on how these different frauds and scams and schemes are out there and how to help protect yourself against it. AARP also has a Fraud Watch Network helpline at 1-877-908-3360. And that's a toll-free phone number to call. And you can also get in touch with people there about how to help avoid, or if you have a problem with fraud, they can help get you pointed in the right direction for finding help.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for all those tips.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for having me on today.
Thank you so much, Scott. Stick around. We have much more yet to come right here on North Dakota Today.